Welcome to She Said That Out Loud, a place where we have inspiring, simple dialogue of our thoughts and ideas about concerns we face today. I just had to have a conversation with my son because it looked like his mouth was turned up. So I had to see what was going on. But he said nothing was going on. He was all right. So I was in the process of recording my video when all that stuff took place. And we had a good conversation. So I wanted to talk about the Napoleon Hill book that I've been reading. So I've been reading Napoleon Hill's book on Outwitting the Devil. And first off, if you don't have an open mind, this book will do nothing for you. And a few years ago, I tried to listen to the audio version and didn't finish it. So I started listening to it again. And this audiobook is very, very interesting. I mean, it changed the way I think about certain things. And this is not the only book that's done this. I mean, I've listened to lots of audiobooks and lectures on YouTube and things of that nature, but this book made me realize some things that it just opened up my eyes. So, and it answers some questions, in my opinion. So, I was trying to figure out, like, why would he interview with the devil versus interviewing with God? And it could be that most people fear the devil through life and the prospect of death. And there's different, types of fears. There's the fear of poverty, fear of ill health, loss of someone that you love, or age, or old age, fear of old age and death. And the book is formatted in like a narrative conversation with the devil. And when I first listened to it, I was like, this was a long time ago when I was listening to it. I was like, I'm not sure if I want to listen to this because I wasn't ready for it. I realize now that I wasn't ready for it. But listening to it now, it just answers a lot of questions. And now those aspects that Napoleon Hill mentioned was that show up on our journey is on the surface, we don't like it. It's unfavorable to us. But when you really look at it, whatever shows up is beneficial because it helps us to realize ourselves. So when you're going through it, it don't feel good. But when you look back at it, you realize you learn from it. So everything we see on the outer world is a reflection on what's going on in the inner world. That's one thing that's one of the nuggets that I picked up. There's a whole bunch of nuggets in this book. And to me, it's the truth. It's a lot of truth. Now, I know there's going to be some people that disagrees with me on that, but this truth may be why this book wasn't published until 2011. He wrote it in 1938, but he didn't publish it to 2011. So he gives his thoughts on education, the education system, and he points out how our children are being primed for failure. He says because they're taught not to use their minds. And I was just like, oh my goodness, this is unbelievable. Even though I've heard this before. I mean, it ain't like I haven't heard it before, but sometimes you can hear things and you don't really pay attention to it. And then you get that right moment and you actually hear what they said. I don't know. I might have been asleep. I don't know. But obviously I was asleep. You hear it and then you just let it go. It sounds good. You let it go in one ear and out the other and you don't apply it. And then things start happening in your life and then you start applying it. It starts coming back to your remembrances. You get like little reminders. So in this book, he points out that most failures are due to the limitations we set in our own minds. And the facts that he talks about in this book, you can apply it today. He wrote that a long time ago, but you can apply what he's saying today. He even talks about the president and the reason why the president was elected. I mean, it is like crazy. And he also says that doubt and indecision crystallizes into fear. So it's like it's a stem. I'm trying to figure. I'm reading my notes trying to figure out because I wanted to make my different points, so I had to write it down. So he says these fears stem from the main fear, which is being reactive to a person, an environment, or a circumstance that shows up in a way that takes you off course. So being reactive to something that happens in your life, I don't know, you probably get fired from your job or having an issue with your spouse or having to deal with illness in your family. How you react to that says a lot about you, your character, and and that fear shows up, and you should be trying to identify like where is this coming from, and that's all a part of this journey. So this book made me realize how I get in my own way and how we get in our own way sometimes. He even talks about entrepreneurship, and I'm going to have to read this one because it's a quote. As inconsistent as it may seem, you will learn more about how to succeed from your failure than successes. Oh, than so-called successes. They teach you what not to do. So I'll read that again just in case somebody didn't get it because I was stumbling on my words. As inconsistent as it may seem, you will learn more how to succeed from failure than your so-called successes. They teach you what not to do. So failure, and one thing that he talked about, I keep saying one thing, there's several things that he talked about, but he says failure and belief are temporary experiences. So you can release yourself from being reactive to things that you cannot control. So if you can't control it, by learning who you are and facing your fears, you can stand up to anything that comes to you in your life. And so it teaches you how to transcend over your fears. And so most of the time, people tell you, you should meditate, and everybody has different ways to come to this realization. I do meditate. I learned transcendental meditation and a few years ago. And I was doing my meditations, and they fall off every once in a while. And now I'm back to doing my meditations. And it's like, I don't know. At first I was thinking, is this working? I wasn't even sure if it was working. And as you go along your journey, you do realize that it is working. So some news you may hear, you may not be as reactive to it when you start meditation and really start, focusing on yourself and your journey. And now I'm about to lose my train of thought on what I was supposed to be getting at. But anyways, some people talk about going back to entrepreneurship. When he was talking about entrepreneurship, I don't want to tell anybody to follow their dreams because I don't know what kind of dreams that you having. I don't know if you having nightmares. So I don't want to tell you to follow your dreams. I don't want to tell you follow your passion because I don't know where your passion is going to lead you. But I will say push past the fear and do something. I didn't think I'd be making these videos, and I'm not even sure why I'm making these videos, but I'm making these videos because I don't know where it's going to lead. I don't know what it's going to lead to. So I say follow the opportunity and bring your passion along with you. Everybody, leave your comments about your thoughts on why you feel people are okay with losing. I would like to hear your comments. Like and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget, actually, that sounded a little corny. I got to figure out what my tagline is going to be, or what my, those catch-all sayings or whatever. I got to figure out what that is. Right now, I'm saying be fearless. I'm not sure if that's going to work. But anyways, until next time, okay, see? It got to flow. Whatever I pick or whatever y'all help me choose, it has to flow. So in the meantime, be fearless.